Hey guys, Justin here, and today I want to shoot a quick video in response to some comments that I've been receiving regarding a couple of other videos I shot recently related to getting your music distributed digitally. So I'll link to those other videos in the description below. But essentially, I've been getting a lot of questions since I put together one video in particular comparing DistroKid, CD Baby, and TuneCore, and I get a lot of questions from people via email and in the comments asking for me to review other aggregators. Now, the fact of the matter is there's about 1,000 aggregators. There are a lot of aggregators out there. So I've reviewed the biggest ones, the ones that I would recommend, TuneCore, CD Baby, DistroKid. But there are a lot of other aggregators out there that are just as good. And in some ways, they might even be better for your particular situation. So in this video, I want to go over some of the important factors to look at in an aggregator. So if you have another aggregator in mind, besides the ones that I've recommended, you can take a look at what they offer, how much they charge, and figure out if it's the right fit for you. So that's what we're going to be talking about in this video. Let's go ahead and get started. All right, so the first thing to look at is, are they actually going to get your music in the places that you want it to be? For 99% of people watching this video, you probably only really need to be concerned with iTunes, Spotify, Google Play, Amazon, Pandora, and those major services that most of the world uses. And pretty much every aggregator should be able to get you on those platforms at least. Now, of course, I'm coming from the perspective of somebody in the United States where those are the common places that people buy music here. I realize that in other countries, there are some platforms that are a lot more popular. So if there are other platforms that are more popular in your country that most of your audience is going to be on, you want to make sure that your aggregator gets you on those platforms as well. So CD Baby, TuneCore, and DistroKid are going to get you on 150 or more places, including stores and streaming services. So they probably have you covered. You might want to double check with them. If there's a platform that's a little bit more obscure that you want to be sure that you're on for some reason, then you might want to double check with them. But for the most part, those aggregators are going to get you on the places that you need to be. And if you have another aggregator in mind that you want to use for some reason, just check with them and make sure that they're getting you on every platform that you want to be on. Now, it's usually not a big issue. Most aggregators are going to get you in all the places that you need to be. So the second thing to look at, and this is probably the biggest factor that should influence your decision, is how much do they charge? So there's a lot of services that'll charge you just a flat rate. Some will charge you by the album, and some will try to charge you a commission, which you want to avoid. So the only service that I know of that I would really recommend that charges you a commission on your sales and streams is CD Baby. And that's just because they're one of the most reputable companies out there, and they do offer a few additional services that you probably won't be able to get with most aggregators. Now, that being said, I don't necessarily recommend them for everyone because their commissions are really high. In fact, if you're not using any of the unique features that CD Baby offers, like their physical distribution, then I wouldn't recommend them for you because those commissions can really add up. So one of the benefits to CD Baby is that they don't charge you an annual fee. They'll charge you like $50 to upload an album, and a lot of times that's discounted to like $25 because they run a lot of promotions. But that's a one-time fee. So they'll charge you $50, $25, whatever, one time, and then you don't have to pay an annual fee or anything like that. So that's great, but they do charge you a 9% commission. So if you look at another service like TuneCore, where they charge you a $30 annual fee, well, yes, you do have to pay $30 annually, but let's compare that to a commission structure that CD Baby has. So CD Baby charges 9% for all of your revenue from streams and sales. So let's say you're selling an album for $10 on iTunes. They're going to take 90 cents of every sale. That means that after about 30 sales or so, you're going to have to pay that $30 that TuneCore would have charged you annually anyway. So if you're planning on selling less than 30 albums a year, then sure, CD Baby will save you some money. But I hope you're planning on selling a lot more than 30 albums a year. Because once you start selling 40, 50, 100, 1,000, 10,000 albums, now that 9% commission really starts to add up. So if you sell 10,000 albums, for example, 10,000 albums a year, let's say you're having some success, you sell 10,000 albums a year, and you're spending 9% of that in commissions to CD Baby, you sell 10,000 albums at $10, that's $100,000 in revenue, but you're giving CD Baby $9,000 to cover that 9% commission. So that's a lot more than the $30 that you would be paying TuneCore because they aren't charging you a commission on your sales. And then DistroKid's only $20 a year and you can upload as many albums as you want. And they don't charge a commission. So if you're looking at an aggregator that's charging you a commission, you better be sure that they're offering you something in exchange that makes it worthwhile, because there's plenty of aggregators out there that are not going to charge you a commission on your sales. So that brings me to the third and final factor that we're really going to talk about in this video, and that is, what is the unique selling proposition that the aggregator offers? So like I said, for the most part, most aggregators, if all you're looking to do is get your music on iTunes and Spotify, then really all you have to do is look at how much is this service charging you. Make sure they're not charging you any commissions. And as long as the rate to upload albums is fairly low, like $20 a year, $30 a year, then you're fine. Just choose one and go with it. But if you are looking for something more, like for example, CD Baby helps facilitate physical distribution. So if your audience is really into buying vinyl, for example, you might consider that as a factor that would make you want to use CD Baby versus one of these other services that's going to charge you a lot less to distribute your music. So if you're looking at an aggregator that offers something unique that you can't get elsewhere for less, then sure, go with them, and then you might consider paying a commission. But I would highly recommend avoid paying any commissions on streams and sales if you can. And with DistroKid and TuneCore, you certainly can. And just one last thing I want to be clear on. When I'm talking about commissions on streams and sales, I'm talking about through your aggregator on actual Spotify streams and sales through a digital service like iTunes or something. If you are looking at using one of these services also as a publishing administrator, because a lot of them offer publishing administration services, and they might try to get your music in film, TV, commercials, video games. They may license it out for cover songs, in which case that's something completely separate, and you're always going to have to pay a commission for that type of administration. There's always going to be a commission there. But in terms of your aggregator getting your music digitally distributed to stores and streaming services and the revenue that you're bringing in from that, there are enough aggregators out there that do not charge a commission that you should avoid paying a commission unless you have a really good reason why you're willing to give up a percentage of your money. So I hope that helps to answer some questions that you guys have been sending me. If you're looking for a digital aggregator and you don't know where to start, you don't really have any idea where to begin, then just use CD Baby, TuneCore, or DistroKid, and you can check out the video in the description where I compare the features of all of those. If, on the other hand, there's another aggregator that you really want to use for some reason, just check to make sure they're going to get you in all the places that you want to be. Check to make sure that their fees are reasonable and ideally have no commissions. And then figure out if there is some unique proposition that they offer, some unique service that makes them a better candidate than CD Baby, TuneCore, or DistroKid, which are really the more popular and more established aggregators anyway. All right, so that wraps it up for this video. Hope you found it helpful, and I'll see you next time.